Hey!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Spain. Today we are in the city of Sevilla, here in the region of Andalusia.
Whew, a little out of breath.
Yeah, a little bit. We just decided to do our intro running for some reason. Today, we're teaming up with Hostel One again and giving you guys an amazing adventure and a guide through this part of Andalusia in Sevilla. We want to give you guys some tips and tricks of traveling here in the city, and we even made a new friend with Hostel One. Get in here.
Get on in here.
What's your name? Where are you from?
What's up, guys? Alex, I'm a Canadian, so we like Americans up there.
Hell yeah.
You guys are really interesting.
Before we do anything else, let's roll the intro. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the video here in Sevilla. We are going to talk a lot about the city today. We actually just finished a walking tour, free walking tour in the city, which was really nice, and I'm gonna go over some of that in a little bit. But this is Plaza Espana here in Sevilla. There's actually a Plaza Espana both in Madrid and in Barcelona, but none of them come close to this one. The architectural style in Sevilla is completely different than any of the other cities in Spain. They have their sort of own unique style that is influences from Judaism, from Islam, from Christianity, all kind of blended in together. And this is where this place kind of comes into. A few things about this Plaza Espana: it was built to celebrate all the Latin American countries, so they're all supposed to come together here. You have this big old river kind of going around this whole thing, signifying the water between the Americas, and each one of these has a different region of Spain kind of built into it. Here we have Sevilla, the city that we're currently in, with an image showing an important event that happened there, the crest of the city, and then a bust of an important historical figure from that city. You can just kind of see the depictions of each one. It looks absolutely incredible. The buildings here are amazing. The architecture looks crazy, looks super different than anything I've seen yet in Spain, and we're just gonna keep exploring. So we're going to bounce off to another monumental and historic point here in Sevilla. We have the Catedral de Sevilla, or the Sevilla Cathedral. This place is significant because one of the most well-known people in history is supposedly buried right back there. Christopher Columbus. We took a walking tour that also explained to us that he was kind of also buried in Cuba, and I think the Dominican Republic, and a few other places around the world, but the kind of mostly accepted place that he actually is buried is here because he did die in Spain, from all theories that were told to us. This cathedral is incredible. You can actually go in there, visit his tomb. The building itself actually used to be a mosque as well, and it's kind of placed here in this big square with a fountain behind it. So I highly recommend coming out to check out this area here in Sevilla. You're gonna undoubtedly be here because it's the most touristy bit. All the restaurants and shops and stuff here are overpriced around as well, but this cathedral is definitely something you don't want to miss when you're coming here to Sevilla. Cathedral right behind me, we can move on to another one of the most famous sites here in Sevilla. This is the Alcazar, a super famous site. It is known as one of the most beautiful structures in all of Andalusia, which is this region of Spain. It is made of a specific architectural style that is a mix between Islam and Christianity coming together, and it might look familiar to you guys. Well, this whole region might look a little familiar to you guys if you guys watch the TV series Game of Thrones. It is a beautiful fortress, and the royal family of Spain actually still uses a part of it as their residence, their official residence here in Sevilla. I'm actually not going to head in because it's an 11 euro ticket to get in. I don't feel like it. It's hot outside. We're gonna skip that for now. So I highly suggest checking this out when you come here to Sevilla, and we'll head off to our next spot. The beautiful thing about this region of Spain, Andalusia, is the fact that it gets really hot. And it's beautiful because that means everybody leaves the streets at some point. And if you're Middle Eastern like me and can handle the brunt of the heat, at least for a little bit, it can make for awesome picturesque locations like this that are just completely void of people. There's no better way to end a day in Sevilla than with some flamenco. Flamenco runs through the soul of the city, and Sevilla is kind of known as the flamenco capital of Spain. We got a little teaser of how to dance flamenco during our walking tour of the city, but once we found a little hole in the wall flamenco show for only €8, our minds were blown. Alright, so we just got out of our first flamenco show. This was a sort of underground experience. Unlike most flamenco shows that you'll probably go see in Spain or in Sevilla, it was very intimate, very close. For me to really get into it, I was loving it. The people were so in sync, the dancers were so in sync, the singers were so in sync, it was just amazing. Alright, so the next part of this town we're going to jump off to is an area called Santa Cruz. And I want to tell you guys about this place because it's very significant to me. So this is a map of Sevilla. We are here, and this is the neighborhood of Santa Cruz. Santa Cruz actually used to be the old site of the Jewish quarter here in Sevilla before a lot of really bad things happened to the Jewish population here in Sevilla. During the Spanish Inquisition, the Spaniards were really bad to people of other faiths, particularly Jewish people. That neighborhood sort of became a impromptu ghetto. I can't go into too many details because yes, the situation on YouTube is so bad that I'm not actually allowed to talk about history without getting this video demonetized, but you can actually still visit Santa Cruz. It is open to the public. It's actually a full functioning neighborhood nowadays, and we opted to take the tour with Hostel 1. We had an awesome tour guide take us through the Jewish quarter and tell us the stories about the Jews that used to live there. Fortunately, when you're there, you actually don't see any signs of Jewish life because it has been completely washed off. The people who conquered there during the Inquisition decided to clean out any remnants of Jewish people left in that area and change the name to Santa Cruz to make sure that no remnants of Jewish life was left in this area. And so you won't really see much of a sign of Jewish people other than just the word Sfarad in Hebrew, which means Spain, which are plaqued somewhere in that area of town. I highly encourage you to take this tour, especially if you're opting to stay with Hostel 1 when you're here in Sevilla. And I actually do want to tell you guys, we do have a discount code that you can book with us down below in the description. It's called YALOCLATT. Be down below in the description. You can get yourself some discounts when you stay with Hostel 1 and obviously join these free tours whenever you want. Highly suggest taking the free tour of Santa Cruz. It is incredible to hear the stories of the old Jewish people, and as a Jew myself, it makes it more impactful. Alright, so we have come down to one of the top attractions in Sevilla. It's actually really popular. It's called Las Setas. Don't know what that means, but everyone just calls it the mushroom. That's kind of what it's dubbed, and it's literally right by one of the Hostel 1 locations. It's like a 2-minute walk from there. Probably come around here if you're in Sevilla at some point. It's very popular to come and see, and it only costs €3 to get to the top of, which is supposed to have the best viewpoint of the entire city. I think it's the highest viewpoint you can get to here. So we're gonna go up to the top right now. We're doing it with the hostel, with Hostel 1. This is one of their little day tours. It doesn't cost you anything other than the price of the actual admission. We're just gonna go walk. I think you get some alcohol involved in there as well, so we're gonna head on up to Las Setas. Hola.
Free gift here and a free cold drink outside.
Okay, gracias. Alrighty, so we have made it to the entrance right now. We've just paid our €3. You get a postcard and a free drink, and then this is our elevator that we just missed.
There we go.
To head up.
There we go.
Click it. There it is. Here's the elevator. It's gonna take us to the top. Whoa.
Trippy.
Alrighty, off to the top we've come. This is supposedly the best view of Sevilla that you can get in Sevilla. It'd be weird if you couldn't get it in Sevilla. Alright, so we've made it to sort of the top of this thing. It is kind of like a giant animal. I don't really know how to explain. It kind of looks like the Oculus from New York City, but a little beigeur, and with a medieval city all around it. Very cool. Highly recommend. For €3, this is unbelievable. I think this is a view unprecedented to anything else you can get. We have the cathedral over there. You can see the Khatab from here. You can see a bunch of the famous sites. So highly recommend this viewpoint. For only €3, that's a deal. Now, if you're feeling like experiencing the nightlife of Sevilla, be warned, it gets a little crazy. Hostel 1 took us around to some local bars to try the drinks that locals indulge in on a night out. With a smaller town vibe, the nightlife in Sevilla is more based around social drinking and snacking at night, while the occasional party bar and club pop up. They give you the opportunity to dance your little heart out, and either way you choose, the nightlife in Sevilla is super fun. Some of the best vibes on a night out, and especially the Hostel 1 community giving us a group of friends to go out with and meet while we're walking around the town made the night out so much more fun. Just try not to wake up the next morning like this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is your video on the awesome city of Sevilla. We're gonna end it here. I want to make sure that you guys go over and check out Steve's channel down in the description below, because he's making a video from here as well. As well, please make sure you check out the Hostel 1 locations that we are staying at here in Sevilla. They got two, one that's called the Hostel 1 Centro and one that's called the Cathedral. They are amazing. They are incredible hostels right here in Sevilla. We actually had such a good time. If you guys want to stay with Hostel 1, we have a discount code down in the description below as well. It is YALOCLATT. You enter that, you'll get some money off on your booking when you come here and stay with Hostel 1. And that's all I gotta say. What's our Spanish word of the day today?
Ooh, Spanish word of the day.
Oh, you know what? We're on a road right now, so why don't we say calle?
Calle, okay.
Calle is a road, where we are right now, as you can see.
Is road or street.
Or street. That's your Spanish word of the day today. Don't forget, if you want to support this channel, Hostel 1 down in the description. You can buy some merchandise on screen right now in the description below. And we'll see you guys in the next one. I love you a long time. Goodbye, class.